This is going to be a bit of a different type of video. Typically they tell you, oh, if you're a content creator, if you got popular within a niche doing either funny videos or, stupid dances or anything like that, then you just need to do that because they're trying to compartmentalize and put you in a box. But, I do a variety of content. So I'm just going to post whatever I feel like posting. And this is something that's been on my mind a lot lately. For those of you who don't know, I'm 36 years old, going to be 37 this year. And something I think about frequently is mortality. The reason I think about this a lot is just because I realize the fragility of life. As someone who has been through cancer twice, beaten it twice, I realize that, I'm blessed to still be here. But at the same time, both times I got cancer, it was always a, got 6 months left to live type of thing. And so at 36, going on 37, it started to, especially this year, as of turning 36 and whatnot, it's really dawned on me like, okay, hey, you're not the young Thundercat that you were anymore. Like, I'm still young-ish, but the reality of having my whole life ahead of me, I still have probably a good 40, 50 years, remaining, barring any other health complications. But something I think about when I look at my kids, I've got 3 beautiful daughters, right? 2 that are 11 and 1 that is 4 years old. And I look at them and I'm like, you got your whole life ahead of you. You're young, you're vibrant, you got all this energy. Like, never try to rush to grow up, because when you're growing up, then you're wanting to be young again. And in saying that they have their whole life ahead of them, because I think about mortality a lot. And typically people start thinking about mortality in their 40s, but the way the world is now, and with how many people that I know that have just, they're not here anymore, right? Older, younger, my age, they're not here. And the fact that I've had 2 brushes with death has me thinking about this stuff too. So I realize I'm closing in on the halfway mark of halfway through my life, and only having, it's not a case of looking at, oh, the rest of my life. Is more or less looking at life in the sense of how much more time do I have, And that's a terrifying thought, because when you're young, you think you're invincible, you got all this time in the world, and you realize that as you get older, you don't. There are people who were young, bright-eyed and such, and optimistic, and like that life was just snuffed out of them, right? And so where I'm at now, just thinking about how much time I have left, I think about legacy, like how to leave a legacy. What do I want my legacy to be? Clearly, with 3 daughters at this point, and I do have a desire for more kids, but with having 3 daughters, those are already my legacy, my pride and joy. But I still think about what else in life could I do? How can I leave more of an impact on the world? And it's a terrifying rabbit hole that you can go down, right? I've had 2 really good friends I've had this conversation with, and we all think about the mortality a lot. We don't openly talk about it, but it's terrifying, I look at the fact that, with me, with especially my 2 older girls, and with my youngest, I'm the age that my parents were, and that, once that hits, it's surreal. And so I want to leave something for my kids, so that, whatever happens, whether I'm natural causes or an accident, like, that they're taken care of, because they are my legacy. But I want to make sure they're taken care of. And I think the more I think about mortality, the more down that rabbit hole I go, the more I think about, a lot of stuff in the world today just isn't important. And we focus so much on distractions. What is this celebrity doing? What is this influencer doing? What is this, politician doing? We're so, and especially with social media, we're so scattered about thinking about things that are not important. We don't focus on the things that are important, such as our mortality, our life, what we have, because we're often just always comparing or judging. And as someone who has been through cancer twice and been told I don't have that much time, I can't waste time focusing on nonsensical things. You know, like that, it can be over. And for the sake of my kids, I want to be here another 40, 50 years. At minimum, I want to live till I'm over 100. I don't know if that's going to happen, but nonetheless, I want to lock in on what's actually important. And a lot of things in clown world today is just not important. There's a lot of good in life, but it's overshadowed often with a lot of the negativity because, well, that's what's pushed by social media, by entertainment and such. But we need to start valuing the time we have with those that we love, the time and the gift of life that we have, regardless of whatever we're going through. Because a lot of people are on a journey to find happiness when happiness isn't a journey, it's a choice. You can have a person in a third world country down on their luck and they can be the happiest person in the world, but you can also have someone who has everything in the world and they're miserable. So it's a choice. So I choose happiness, and I choose to embrace and appreciate whatever time remaining I have on this planet, and it's not to get like nihilistic or down or anything, but it's reality. At some point I'll die. Everyone does. And the older you are, the more you think about that, like, is it going to be painful? Will I be conscious of it? What's next? What is after, is at the end. So value the time that you have and never take it for granted. And don't take those who you love for granted either. All right, that's enough of my TED Talk.